You good? I want to welcome everybody. Sorry for the delay. It's official time 6:03. I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's February 4th, 2020. I need approval of agenda at this time.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Tonight, Mr. Goins, who's doing the pledge and invocation?
Yeah, Matt is.
Matt,
Where'd he go?
Yes,
He ain't
sir.
gone.
Talking to
he's out there talking.
the sheriff.
Tell Matt I need him in here. Matt Goins, where our Parks and Recreation is going to open up tonight in our, I looked up as you were gone. We're going to turn over invocation, please. Appreciate you filling in tonight.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, bow our heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come tonight to say thank you, Lord. Thank you for the many blessings that you bestow upon this community, Lord. Thank you for all the blessings you bestow upon our families. Lord, we ask you to be in this room tonight, to be with each and every person here. We ask you to be with our leaders, Lord, and just give them the wisdom to guide this county. Lord, we know that there's a lot of issues in our national politics, but we just ask that you keep them issues out of this room here tonight, Lord. And we just ask that you continue to lay your hand upon Jones County and bless us. May you bless our bodies and our bodies your service. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got your pen up here too, man. I do. As we get started tonight on planning and zoning, before I call Mr. Petrowski, and I wanted to let everybody know that both sides, if anybody, both sides of your planning and zoning will be heard. If you're here in favor of planning and zoning, we'll address you. If anybody's opposed to this planning and zoning, you will also have the time to voice your opposition. Mr. Petrowski, you want to start us off planning and zoning tonight?
Chairman, item A is a request by Cabinet Resources LLC. It's a conditional use to allow a commercial trade shop for cabinet manufacturer. This business was granted a conditional use across the street from this location approximately a year ago. They now want to relocate to this location. Since it's a new location, a conditional use is required to be approved by this body. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
All right, any questions for Mr. Petrowski? Persons here in favor of this or asking for this request, would you like to say anything? Anybody in opposition of this request? I mean, if you want to say something, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's just if you want to come forward and speak on the. Anybody opposed to this? None? I look for a motion from the board.
So moved, Chairman.
We have a motion approved. Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
All right. We move to board appointments tonight. It's River Edge Behavioral Health Community Services Board. This appointment, it will renew Thad Childs. What's the period of time, Ralph? Doesn't matter. 3-year term.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion approved. We have a second.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We got Board of Elections appointment. This appointment will renew Marion Hatton as the chairman of the election board. Any questions, comments? Entertain a motion.
So moved, Chairman.
We have a motion.
Second.
Let's talk about it. You better speak
Let's just
up.
be a little more clear in our motions.
Okay.
Motion to approve the appointment of Marion Hatton.
Okay, a motion to approve the appointment of Marion Hatton.
Thank you.
Second the motion, Chairman.
Approve Marion Hatton.
I know y'all are trying to run through this, but it
Am
just
I going too
caused
quick?
me a little heartburn.
Am I going too quick?
You're good now, thanks.
Okay, all right. We'll go slower. We got a motion to second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
We just want us clear on the record.
I'm just trying to keep it
Thank you. You're doing a
rock
great
and roll.
job.
Yeah, I know you got babies at home waiting on mama. All right, consent agenda and approval for the minutes. We got the third Tuesday, January 21st, 2020, and then we also had an executive session, January 21st, 2020. Have y'all had an opportunity to look at the minutes? And if so, I'll look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the consent agenda and approve the minutes of third Tuesday, January 21st, 2020, and the executive session.
That would be a happy
Really
girl.
makes you real happy. Do we have a second?
You got a second.
Second. All right. All in favor, aye. Aye. Ayes have it. I love that. We gotta keep that up. We're gonna have her going. We have a visitor night, AARP, representative to present AARP Livable Communities designation. There's just a few of us up here qualified.
Good evening, commissioners and guests. My name is Myrtle Habersham. I am an ambassador for AARP Georgia's Executive Council, and joining me tonight is Kay Sabetta. Kay is one of the managers for the state of Georgia, and we are pleased to be here tonight to make a special presentation to Jones County. We're here to present you with a special designation as an age-friendly, livable community. You are the 8th community in Georgia. You join over 400 communities throughout the country that have been designated as age-friendly. And to just a couple of sentences about the program. Back in 2011, the World Health Organization came to AARP and said, you have over 40 million members. We have a phenomenon that's happening in our country. The world is aging, and we need to be prepared. We need to be working on quality of life initiatives. That's what Jones County is publicly agreeing to do. You already have so many initiatives and things that you're working on. This just entitles you to be a part of this program where there's a lot of sharing and best practices, a lot of AARP publicity about the fact that you've joined this program and that you are publicly committing to work on areas like housing, transportation, health, safety, those things that are important to us. By 2030, one in every 5th person in the U.S. will be 65 or older. By the year 2033, the people 65 and older we will have more of us than there are people 18 and younger. So what communities throughout the country are doing are committing to work on this issue so that we're prepared for the baby boomers who are turning 65 every day, the Gen Xers, the millennials and all. So thank you so much. A special thanks to Commissioner Pitts and Jason for working with us on this. And Mr. Chairman, if you would come forth, we'd like to present you with this certificate. Okay, and the certificate reads, AARP Real Possibilities. This is to certify that Jones County, Georgia has committed to becoming more age-friendly under the criteria established by AARP and has been accepted as a member of the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities. This certification is valid until January 2022. It's signed by Nancy Lamont, the Chief Advocacy and Engagement Officer for AARP National, and it automatically entitles you to admits you into the World Health Organization's global network of age-friendly communities. Congratulations.
Thank you. I get this y'all's mail all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We look forward to working with you. We have lots of volunteers throughout Georgia. We will be working with you on your projects. Good to see you, Mr. Kitchens. I know you were in Macon when we joined the age-friendly community, and so thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Harrison.
Can I just say something real briefly? For all of those who think that Jones County is officially an old county, I just want you to know that it's not, just because we're here. The reason we're doing this is, as my colleague mentioned, is to prepare, because after all, we're all aging. Whether you're 5, 15, or 50, we want to make sure that you're thriving in your community. So don't be afraid when you get that in the mail, because I did too. So it's all good. It's all good that you're aging. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming
Thank
so
you.
much. Just wait, John. Your day long gonna be getting us for too long.
It's coming.
It's coming.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Just a minute at a time. How much more time you got?
3 years.
3 years. All right.
If you're eligible to vote, you can be a member, so
So-
doesn't matter.
You have to be
Oh,
50.
okay. All right.
Don't wait till you're 50.
Well, we do thank you very much. We have another visitor, James and Brenda. Is it Bunkley? Did I say it right? Okay. 171 Sun Valley Drive.
Yeah. How you all doing?
Yes, ma'am.
It's good to be here today. I was just coming in, well, I was reading in the paper the other day where y'all was closing out the grant for that Sun Valley area over there. And I wanted to, they tried to explain everything to me about why they didn't get beyond Sunset Harris House. I'm right next door. And they told me they're going to have an engineer here to explain about my yard and everybody else's yard down there. But anyway, I'm not here to fuss, cause nobody to be upset, but I want to know, what do we have to do to get another grant to finish the Sun Valley area? I've been over there 30 years, and I feel like we deserve to be on the sewage, the BIP sewage system too.
Right.
I've been paying taxes over 30 years over there, and they stopped right at my house. And it's about 10 to 12 more houses down there need doing. And we're on the side where the lake is, where all the waste is going down. It's contaminated in that lake. And we smell this stuff, especially on humid days. So it's really an environmental problem.
There was, you had researched this.
I have, talked some with Tim Ingram, our engineer, and Mike Wyndham from his office about this, and I think what it would take to connect your house and those on down from it would be an additional force main that would have to go in and install, and then do grinder pumps at the houses along the road there. And unfortunately, it's not an inexpensive endeavor to try to do that. And so, in terms of what it would take to get another grant, we looked at a CDBG, I think, a little over a year ago to do some extension of that system, and it was just very costly, and there was going to be a lot of required match in addition to the grant funds, and so at that time the board opted not to pursue an additional one, but there is a funding cycle every year for CDBG, as long as the area meets the income qualifications, and so that's sort of the threshold criteria is those income surveys and having enough low to moderate income residents in the area to qualify for CDBG.
Was it not the original plan, the budget reasons, they cut it out for budget reasons from the original plan, if I understood it right?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
All right. The original plan, whenever they started it, Commissioner Martin, could you elaborate? Was it, originally it was cut out for budget reasons?
No, Mr. Chairman, it was income. CDBG operates basically on income. And the way it worked was they did a study, and they probably sent you all paperwork at the time to qualify people for the sewer. If you were included in that original study and your income met the threshold, then that was that first target group that qualified for the CDBG grant. Beyond that, then it did come into scope of work and how much the additional houses were going to cost. Beyond that, what the CDBG could fund. And last year, I can't remember what the number was, but I think it was somewhere around 360 to do the next section, and I lost 4-1. So we'd have to petition or try and get it to go through this year. And again, it's up to this body to make sure that happens.
Yeah, I would love for that to happen if you could, because like I said, I've been a taxpayer around over 30 years, and I feel like we deserve to be finished up down on that end.
Right.
I know I'm in the original plan, because Sunset is my neighbor. He the one been fighting this thing 30 years. 30. And then you start right there at his house. I'm next door.
Right. The Regional Commission did the original study, so I don't know all of the details that went into that.
But I appreciate if you
Yeah.
worked on that for us.
Well, it never stops, I promise you.
Okay. Thank you so much for
Thank y'all
listening.
for coming.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Moving on to new business tonight, we've got certified volunteers. Commissioner Pitts, this is on your.
Yes, sir. This is something I just wanted to get some input from the commissioners on. Is a way to open up the gym during, I guess, pretty much during the summer months. When somebody's going to be here, you have a certified volunteer. And a certified volunteer is a person that's completed the sportsmanship volunteering certification, completed first aid and CPR training, completed a background check, as well as signed a waiver, saying they're not going to hold the county liable for any type of damages and things like that. And the goal was just to have a person that's willing, that wants to volunteer. I run into people from time to time say, I want to open a gym, or you guys should open a gym. Well, if we don't have the resources, and maybe if you want to volunteer, if you're willing to complete these steps, then the board may, look at allowing you to serve as a volunteer. This volunteer will complete all the training, and if and when he does show up, he or she shows up, I would have them come to the registration office, give them their ID, we'll give them the keys to the gym, and then at the end of the day, they can bring the keys back, they give them the license, and maybe a staff member will walk the gym just to make sure that everything is in good order. It's doing normal business hours, so somebody from the staff could actually walk back there to make sure everything is going fine. And we can even look at maybe even putting a camera in there so that Jason can monitor it, or someone can monitor that area during the day while we know that a volunteer is in there playing basketball, badminton, whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to bring it before the board to get your input and get some thoughts on it. And if there's some work that needs to be done, we'll continue to work on it and try to move it forward.
Comments or questions?
Matt had what was that you brought before the board several months ago where volunteers for the rec department, there were several certifications they had to go through. Do you remember?
There's a
It was like training classes. and-
NYSCA thing. Oh, you're talking about the one we talked about putting them through?
Yeah, like the
USA
background and,
Right. There's several ones. USA Safe is what it's called. It's different classes they go through for child abuse, domestic violence, different things dealing with youth and youth sports. We had to implement that.
But become a volunteer, we ask that they do that and complete all of those steps, because if you want to be a volunteer, these are just some things that you have to do, because you're not just going to give the keys to anybody. If you take those steps, then it means you're serious. You want to be a volunteer, you care about the kids, and you want to, be there for them. And you know things to look for while you're in the gym. There'll also be a cost savings for the county until we can move to get that sports coordinator that we're looking to move towards. During that time period, we're not hiring anybody. You got a certified volunteer, and the gym is open so kids can actually participate and, enjoy the facilities.
Sure.
Our volunteers right now do two things. They do a background check with the sheriff's office, and they do an online certification called NYSCA. It's through NAES. It's like $25. They go online. They take an online class. Takes about right at an hour. Then they get a certificate number saying they've been through this training, and then along with the background check through the sheriff's office, kind of tells us they're clear with a background and they've had some basic training on some youth sports safe stuff.
Right. And I can want to do first aid and CPR training too, just in case something was to happen in there. They know some basic first aid, and it's not, they don't know exactly what to do. They do have some basic knowledge of what to do. And like I said, maybe we get asked to drive some type of waiver, it's kind of protecting the county, so that the gym can be open. Like I said, the kids can participate from it and enjoy it. So,
I think it's a great idea, Chairman. I think we utilize the because we got a ton of great volunteers that would do stuff like that. So I think it's a great idea. I don't know about liability issues, but I'd love to see us have a camera there if we're going to open it up without having an employee of the county there. We probably need a camera, but I think it's a great idea.
I need a motion to go forward
Yeah.
on the volunteer.
Jason had a
to
comment.
establish that program.
Mr. Chairman. Matt had a comment.
I do have one thing I need y'all to kind of consider, please. If we do this, what authority are you giving that volunteer to shut down people? So if let's just say they open it up, 5 people go in to have a friendly game of shoot around, nothing wrong with that. All of a sudden, social media, hey, come up here and shoot with me. Next thing you know, there's 30 people in there. That person who got the key, at what point is that person going to have the authority to say, leave? I only brought 3 or 4 people with me. I didn't want all these people in here.
Right.
Those are just
Right.
potential
Right, so
issues.
that's why I wanted to bring it before the board, so that's a good idea. So, any thoughts or recommendations when it comes to that, Matt? Is it just like, for example, once it gets to 10 or more, then they need to call Parks and Recreation and one of your team members come up and kind of assess the situation and make a determination that it's getting out of hand? And
I would like to ponder over it.
okay, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't have to have a vote tonight, but I wanted to bring it up so that the board can
Something to
consider
look
it. Exactly. And then
And it could also be if we're going to establish, with us thinking about the rec department situation and the Little League sports, but still having a volunteer board, it may be that we establish like the USA for sort of all of our volunteers, or look at a program that if you're going to volunteer for something county related, these are the requirements, and this is the program, and make it consistent across the board.
Okay, yeah, but that's it. So please ponder over it, and please, any ideas you have, please share it with me, and look at moving forward. So thank you, madam.
So there will be a conclusion to this agenda item. Let's have a motion to postpone it indefinitely until we set it back down at a future time.
I make a motion to postpone this certified volunteer item on the agenda, and we'll revisit at a later time. Thanks.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
We move on to number 2 on new business tonight. It's a budget amendment for light pole replacement. I understand you just have a report for us tonight, don't you?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. After talking with Levita, I won't need a budget amendment for this. One of our light poles in Haddock was struck by one of our vehicles right before Christmas, and so we're working on getting that the pole and light repaired. Some pieces of it can be repaired. Other parts of it are going to have to be replaced. It's probably going to be the one price that I've gotten back so far was $12,000 or $13,000. So it's a expensive. They were really expensive to purchase to begin with, and the solar panel is going to have to be replaced. But I thought I would need a formal budget amendment from you guys, but that won't be necessary. So I'm going to keep digging, trying to find some additional prices and hopefully lower prices on getting that pole and light and panel fixed or replaced.
Wow. Expensive pole.
Yes.
Make a comment, Chairman.
Yes.
Yeah, I got one too.
Same picture I'm looking at. Based on this picture here, I know dimensions can look a little off, but that looks like it's probably at least 2.5, 3 feet from the curb.
Easily.
That's not just a slight misjudgment there. That's a.
As I understand it, there was a car coming out of Bowen Hill Road, and so the driver was trying to make the turn with a lowboy trailer attached, and with the car still there. So, yes.
A county employee.
I taught you better. I taught you how to drive better than that, Jerry.
Wasn't me.
All right.
Wasn't me.
I'm just wondering.
I don't even think I was there. Got a dog back there.
So I'm assuming that somebody had a conversation about safe driving practices. I have a CDL and there's no way I'm clipping that telephone pole and the solar fixture on top of it with my little boy. All right.
Do we have any way in these vehicles to detect if our employees are on the cell phone while they're? Is there?
Not that I know of.
And I'm not telling the if it was as he described, I'm not telling him to take one for the team, because truck drivers also taught roll the truck, right, as opposed to take human life. We're gonna roll the truck. But I may just hit the brakes and stop on that one and just wait. It's Haddock, right? How much? I'm good, guys.
All right. Wow. Mr. Lowe, you ready?
You want me to?
You want a new truck?
You're next on the agenda.
That's just a report, right, Chairman? No motion needed.
That was just happened.
Still talking about the light, or we
No, we're moving
Yeah,
on.
so what
I
are
think
y'all
we're
gonna
past
do
the
with the
light,
budget amendment?
I'm sorry?
Let's have a conclusion to that. What are we doing about that budget?
We're taking it out of Public Works.
Yeah, it'll go to their accident under deductible line item.
Okay, do they need to have a motion to,
No, I don't think we need any action.
okay,
All right.
Just a report.
Just a report. All right. Keep it straight.
trying
Don't want
to,
any questions.
right.
Mr. Lowe, we got extended warranty.
I don't think he was coming up if we were still going to talk about the light, though.
No. This is about the new roll-off truck that we got, the last one,
The gravel-
which was the first one we ordered. But we didn't get the extended warranty on it. We got it on the second one, and I sure would like to get it on this one. It's around $6,500. And I talked to Levita today, and it can come out of Splosh to pay for it.
I agree wholeheartedly with all this new technology. That's a drop in
Right.
the bucket what it could
That
cost
don't
us.
throw us out of line with any other bids. They bought off state contract.
Do what now?
Did we buy it off state contract?
Yeah.
So it did,
Yeah.
okay.
Is that what we had pretty much in the other one?
Yeah, yeah. It was right at 65. It might have been 64.50 or something like that. For it.
Any questions for Mr.
I mean, it's the same thing as the other one, as far as the extended warranty. 7 years, I think,
Motion to approve.
250,000 miles on the
Extended
motor.
warranty.
The purchase of the extended warranty. Y'all make me nervous.
Second the motion to approve the extended warranty.
Thank you.
Any more discussion?
We leave it vague for a reason. No, just kidding.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a minute, any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it. How is it going?
Oh, it's doing great.
Great. It's good.
I mean, it's taking him a little while to get used to it, but this is the second week, and it's doing real good.
3 trips in one.
Pretty much, like I was telling Mr. Tommy, if the cans are packed real good, he can get 2 in that one. But, yeah, if they not packed, he can get 3 in there.
Yeah. All about
Easy.
efficiency.
Oh, it's helping out. Ain't no
great.
doubt. Thank you.
All right. All right, we move on to old business tonight. Howard Roberts Bridge replacement, right-of-way update. Mr. Risner?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So we've talked about this a couple times before. You'll recall originally we had the proposal from GDOT where they're going to pay for the bridge replacement. We're responsible for acquiring the right-of-way. And in the early conversations with them, they said they would handle the right-of-way acquisition for us. We just had to pay for it. When they sent us the agreement for us for this board to consider, the amount they were asking for was $170,000. And so we went back and talked with John Albright's firm, THC Incorporated. We had been given some indication from GDOT that we would be able to use that firm to acquire the right-of-way. They do a lot of that type of work for GDOT. And so the board approved entering an agreement with him for those services. Just as a double check kind of thing, we reached out to GDOT again to just be sure that approach would work. I talked to a lot of different people there, and ultimately the answer that I was given was that we could not use that approach because as a local government, we are not LAP certified, and that's locally administered projects. So that left us with a couple different options. One is they couldn't guarantee how long they'll hold the project. They say it could go on the shelf, but that we could go through and try to become LAP certified. So I have started, that consists of about 5 different classes, and I went through the first one last week. It was a couple days over in Forsyth, and I plan to continue going through those classes. I can have it done by about the end of April. So that's the class work. There's a class, and you have to take a test with each one. I think I passed last week. They haven't called and told me that I didn't. But they said if I don't hear from them, I'm in good shape. So
No news is good news.
yeah. So I got through the first class, which is sort of an overview of this whole LAP concept. And basically, you have to be LAP certified if there are federal funds involved. So completed the first class. Once you get to the end of all the coursework, they actually come out and do a review of your operations. They want to see your org chart and what your financial policies look like and all that kind of stuff to make sure that you're positioned to handle federal funds. So just because I get through the classes, there's no absolute guarantee that we'll get the certification. So in talking with my contact there at GDOT, he said occasionally they will, if the local government requests it, they will step up and help with some of that right-of-way acquisition costs. So he said instead of us having to put in the whole $170,000 they initially requested, we can send GDOT a letter and say, Jones County is willing to contribute X amount. Will GDOT consider helping us make up the balance? Apparently, they have some fund that they will pull from to try to make up that difference. So, what they have asked.
I'm quick, so I'd like to motion to approve a request for GDOT support for right-of-way acquisition. You're welcome.
So just have them pay for the whole thing.
See how much we can get out of them. We've got, we're talking less than an acre and they want $170,000, and I don't think anybody on this board is willing to,
Nope.
that's just a hard,
Yeah.
Did we, when we discussed it earlier, Chairman, did we have, when we talked with the engineering agreement with Albright, did we know what a number that we thought it might take to acquire that property?
So
And if so, then that would be the number that I would offer up at the end of the day, the maximum amount.
So the fee for THC was going to be $21,600. That didn't include the actual cost for the parcel. So whatever that 0.7 of an acre is worth would be tacked on to the $21,600.
so would you take the $21,600 plus the cost, or just the cost of the parcel?
$10,000 is an acre is plenty. So a seventh of an acre, even if we put $10,000 on it, you're looking at $31,000 versus $170.
Right.
Once again, if that citizen is listening, we can't directly request it, but they could make a donation if they wanted
Right.
to, right?
I just think it's insane that we're sitting here talking about a seventh of an acre of acquisition that we need to fix a life-saving situation on one of a road that they are duly noted that it's dangerous. And we're sitting here trying to jump through $170,000 hoops is insane. And so I second the motion, the motion to, not emotion, but the motion to write the letter as kindly as possible.
And just ask for them to pay for the whole thing?
Yes.
Got a motion to second it. Any more discussion?
Lastly, we'll finish the motion and afterwards.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Sound like got 5 ayes to me.
Hypothetically speaking, if there was a member in the county that had the LAP certification, could we contract with them to help expedite this?
Don't the firm have it?
They do, but it can't be a consultant. It has to be a full-time local government employee.
That was the whole idea with the consultant, because they were certified
Right.
to do it. They do it with GDOT, but not us.
And actually, one of the test questions was that they don't actually certify consultants. They'll train consultants, but they won't certify consultants. Only local government can be certified.
Okay. You studied
For-
well.
for the-
You studied well. All right, we're through that one. Mr. Lowe, I should have left you up there. You're up here again for a recycling update. Out-of-way proposal.
Yes, sir. I know we've been looking for something, and Robbie Hadaway came to us and said they rebuild in Milledgeville. Jason was there, and talking about putting 8-yard cans, and one of them will be just for cardboard, and they want the cardboard, broke down so you can stack it in there good. And the other can is for the single stream stuff. I mean, that's talking about magazines, office paper, brown paper bags, newspaper, paper board, cereal boxes, dairy paper products and juice boxes, and then like phone books, plastic bottles, containers with whatever number 1 and number 7 milk jugs, dish containers that you wash clothes with, aluminum cans, tin or steel cans, like soup cans.
John, I'm going to ask you the important question. On the last 3 sentences, it says, "We will be willing to provide all recycling equipment needed for any new centers. We'll also provide needed repairs." It sounds like they're doing this for free, right?
No.
No. So,
1 can, which cardboard, is $64 per month. And the other can is $85.
okay.
Commissioner Martin, I think when I put together the packet, I inadvertently put in an old thing. There's 2 more that were added. You may have to flip back a page.
I got you. I was getting all excited off your
Sorry.
first doc. It's okay. Thank you, sir. So, because there's a fee, we do have to put this out for bid now? Or is this professional services?
I would, based on our history lately, I would think it would be a single source or sole source at the most.
We haven't found anybody else.
They ain't, nobody else wanted to
Okay.
do anything.
I agree, you've called and called and called without any sort of response for anyone that wants to take
I mean,
our
our
recyclables.
attendant might have to help tell the folks, you know, you gotta take the bags out if you bring aluminum cans up there in.
Maybe we put something on them, though. so that-
They do, but that don't mean,
Right, they're gonna follow the instructions. They'll follow the instructions.
I think if your statement is that there's been, and we've dealt with this in several meetings, diligent efforts made to look into companies and options for recycling, and this is really the only option, then it would be an exception to where we would not have to send it out to bid.
I mean, they gonna put a can out there at each one, and they'll come and empty them and everything. We ain't got the food with them.
That's a savings right there.
Yeah.
So can I make a motion that we work with Attaway Recycling to have our recycling needs?
How do we actually have it in
All right,
there?
I have a motion.
Like this, what I was asking is that itself, I want to make the motion that we work with Attaway Recycling to address all of our recycling needs, well, these recycling needs that's listed in this proposal.
And is that, do they have a contract they're gonna send us, or is that a set price at the 64 and?
It's 85.
Jason, he didn't say anything about a contract, did he?
So
Probably
we
need
don't know if
something,
that
though.
would change, or if those prices change, you can always just say, okay, come
Right.
get your bin.
Can we move to enter into the contract and have it pending y'all's figuring it out and bringing it back for our final approval? Then I'll second Commissioner Pitts' motion to that effect.
We have a motion, we have a second. We got this new rule going on. We're having problems. Any more discussion?
Something to look for and make sure properly that it's in the contract is if there's something in the bin that's not supposed to be, are they going to charge us a fee? Or are they going to just tell us we've got to haul it somewhere else? Or how's that going to work?
Should that be in the language?
Well, I mean, if they come loaded up and take it, I mean, you know, they might call us up and say, hey,
Yeah.
they putting too much stuff in here.
Yeah, and they might charge us. We just need to know ahead of time.
Sure. We'll have that contract reviewed.
Yeah. And it can really be in sort of the proposal format, but certainly to have those questions answered, just so we
With
know
the
what we're
glass.
getting into.
The glass that we were recycling, you had clear glass, you had brown glass.
Right.
You had green glass, and if they came and got the container and you had the wrong color glass, just one in there, they would send it back. And we had to haul it to a landfill.
Commissioner Martin, you,
Yeah, just confirming this, 85 per container
That's,
per,
that's the, single stream.
okay,
The other container's 64.
single stream, okay. And then that's per recycling center, correct?
Right.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye? Ayes, all ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe. It's been a long, drawn-out process. Glad we finally found somebody to help us. All right, we move on to 3, approval to donate surplus items through GPSTC. Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
I came to the Board, our last meeting, reference donating the spent or expired equipment or outdated equipment. I had an incomplete contract, actually, well, not a contract, but a form to fill out for the Georgia Public Service Training Center. I actually filled it out. I don't have a copy. Jason's got the original copy, and what's on the sheet there is what we're wanting to donate to the state. And if I had one in front of me, I could tell you exactly what it is. I gave him the original. Now these yellow carbon fiber bottles, there's 12 of them. They were here before I came 11 years ago. So they've been through they've been spent. They were spent before I got here. The other yellow, there's another 56. That's before my arrival. They went out of service in '95. The wire frames, there's 30 packs there. Those were before my arrival in '09. The gray carbon fiber, the 2216, were purchased before I got here. They were purchased in 2005. There's 87 bottles back there in the hallway that we want to go ahead and get rid of. And then we've got 35 packs. Some more carbon bottles there, 35. And we've got some 2005 bunker gear, 20 sets. That's going to be a coat and pants and suspenders. And then we have some 2005 40 masks to donate to the state, and the state will turn it over to, from my understanding, it will be San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Any questions, comments, Mr. Graham?
Motion to approve. Oh, someone had a question?
Any questions?
Second.
Second?
To donate the surplus items to GPSTC.
I second that motion, Chairman.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
The prison system will be sending a truck over next week to pick everything up, so we don't have to lift a finger or anything. They'll pile it up and they'll take it to Forsyth. They'll put it in their, however they're going to, I think they're going to put it on a ship in a container. So
Great. I'm glad they can put it to use.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. All right, for Matty Wells Flooring. Mr. Goins?
Sir, if we can table that, still waiting on price for the wood flooring to come back.
Okay. All right. Motion to table Mr. Goins' request.
Motion to table Matty Wells flooring request, Chairman.
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye? Ayes have it. Department heads, who wants to start tonight? Mr. Lowe, you look like you're ready.
I'm happy just sitting out.
Not buying anything from your splost, you're happy, huh? Not buying anybody else anything from your splost, you're happy.
Mr. Goins?
It's all run out.
I've got a couple of things, sir. One, I had a conversation with Mr. Jason and a couple of commissioners about a water issue we have at a golf course. It's natural groundwater from rain, just saturation, cold weather, just not drying up, not running off. We looked at, trying to do some modifications that were going to cost, upwards of 20,000 or more. So we went back to the drawing board, and Kevin came up with a really good idea. We have an old greens, when the golf course was probably 10 years ago. We had the way it was designed back then, the old 17 green was in play. Now it's not in play. We use it as a spare green. So what I want to do is we're going to maneuver number 10. It's going to stay at par 4, but we're going to use number 11 green as number 10 green. And then number 12 will become number 11. And then we will take and put that old green back into play and make it a par 3. The course doesn't change. It's still a par 72. Yardage vary just a little bit. And then we'll have the number 10 green, which is number 10 right now, will become our spare green for us to have sod to utilize for patching. So I want to just let you know what we're doing. We have talked to a large number of members about what we're doing. They kind of like the idea because right now they have to play in those wet conditions, and it's really not favorable. And so this takes all that wet condition completely out of play. So, and the fee to make this little change is is under $5,000 to make this happen. So it's a lot better than where we were going. So I just want to give you that information. So if you heard about it, you're aware of what's happening. The other thing I just have real quick, I want to thank Jeffrey and his department for coming out and helping run the water line for the special needs bathroom. We're tied into the city. We got power to the building. The only thing we're waiting on at this point is for the special needs changing table to come in. As soon as that table comes in, we can get it installed, and we're operational. Thank you.
Sheriff, you got a sheriff's report for us tonight?
No, sir, it was quiet in Mayberry.
Fine, well, that's great. Don't want to leave you out by there. Mr. Graham?
Yes, sir. Well, you talk about on the wet side. I've always pro about getting the weather report out. Tomorrow evening, we'll have some stuff moving through all the way through Thursday evening. Tomorrow night might be a little hairy for us, but there's going to be some heavy rain. It's up to 6 inches of rain in the next 36 hours. So just giving everybody a heads up. I've already put a notation in the county Facebook page, so be careful.
All right. Mr. Risman? Legal? Wow. All right, we'll move on, citizen comments. Anybody like to come forward tonight?
I would like to get some clarification on the recycling.
Just for the record, so we can.
Okay, George Scoville. Can you explain to what's going to happen with the recycling? Where are we going to get to do plastic bottles and all that stuff again? So is that going to be at our dump locations and what have you?
Yes, sir. They'll have 8-yard cans sitting in all our centers.
Okay,
around the county.
so we can go back to recycling plastic and all that good stuff. Keep it out of the landfill.
That's right.
All right, good. That's what I want to know.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
That's what we've been working on for 4 months now.
The reason I'm asking, because when I told people that, several months ago, we discussed this, and they said, no way. I said, yeah, it's going in the landfill now. And then about the next week, it was on television. There was some girl at Channel 13 was interviewing her about it in Jones County. And it's been a big concern, and I mean, it just makes me sick to have to throw all that plastic in the landfill. So anyway, we're gonna go back to doing that.
That's great. We appreciate y'all's help. Anyone else? Sure.
My name's William Johnson. I've acquiring a business here in Jones County. I understand, we all know that the building is owned by the Jones County Board of Commissioners. And I'm just asking for a lease from the Jones County Board of Commissioners. Whatever they're allowed to be, 1 year, 2 year. If not, they wouldn't stand behind that lease. The lease is currently leased to Lewis Rice Jr., which is my stepson. It's Wayside Auctions on 1035 Monticello Highway. I'm trying to bring this auction out of the hole that it's been in. Put some money in it. I've run it actually for the last couple of weeks myself, and we've had some pretty good numbers. I know where a lot of the problems was. I've been doing this since 1996. What I'm asking, I guess, if you wouldn't consider a 2-year lease or something, you're already inquired to the lease you have with him. I just wondered if you would honor the remainder of that lease, which would be to October 1st, to me and my wife. I guess that's what I'm asking.
We need to put that on the agenda item.
Well, it needs to be put on the agenda. Second, our contract is with the leaseor, this, I guess your son,
Right.
stepson.
Correct.
He's the one that's got to approach the board
Okay.
and ask that his lease be sublet. I mean, we can't just take a lease from somebody without them requesting it when our contract's with them.
Right.
And is the payment on that lease, to your knowledge, up to date?
Yes, ma'am, I paid it up this past weekend.
Okay, so it needs to be placed on the agenda, it can be placed on the next agenda for the board's consideration, but your son or stepson will have to be the one that actually requests the lease be sublet, and then you all
Thank you for your time.
consent.
Okay, all right. I know you've got a lot of support of his small town. All right. Anyone else? None? Commissioner Martin, you want to,
The sheriff's already standing up.
I'm sorry?
The
Go ahead.
sheriff was gonna take it over, I think.
If, I'm sure he will want to ask if his son, he can continue operating it until it's, goes back before the board, if his stepson allows it.
Well,
I think he's a little bit confused right now.
Right.
That's the purpose of the lease, is for them to operate the auction.
Well, we stop him so he
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
All right,
confuse that way.
all right.
But he can, if his son allows him, he can operate it.
Yeah, he can take over and the board approves it,
Right.
yeah.
All right. I've got a minute, I've had several calls on it, a lot of support, and, they said the last couple of weeks it has turned around looking good.
So do we have an executive session tonight?
Yep, real estate.
Okay.
Okay,
Maybe
I think
bring
there's
that up
one
in
on the
executive
agenda,
session.
yeah.
Right.
Good.
all right.
Lease contracts.
Sure. Commissioner Martin?
Commissioner comments, or we're going into
Come
executive
come
session?
in.
Just curious, elections boards, I've not seen us appoint any people to that board. Is there a functioning board for the elections board?
I'll have to check on how exactly that works. I think the Republican Party appoints one, and the Democratic Party appoints one, and then the Board of Commissioners appoints the third member. But I'll have to,
Right.
just don't,
Right, because for years, I don't think I've seen us place anybody on that board, and I'm curious about our actual activity, its activity. Are there any minutes? Has it been functioning? And if not, then we need to make sure we're
Yeah.
proper on that.
I agree. I don't think this board appoints the two. I think we appoint one, and then the Democrat Party and Republican Party. So we would only appoint one, which would be Marion,
Right.
that we did. And I think it's 5 or 6 year terms, I believe it is.
Okay. If we can check on the status, that'd be great. I'm working through our modified Roberts rules here, so we're going full strict.
Well,
I'm adjusting, it's okay. And
we're appeasing everybody that we're doing everything exactly the way we should.
absolutely, nice and clear. Workforce development came a few weeks back, one of our partners, about the work sites, and then there was a question of insurance. Have we resolved that yet?
yes, I think we're good on.
Okay.
I think the concern was about ages of employees, and we're fine. We have younger employees working in some places now, so
Okay.
we're good.
Excellent. And Sun Valley, she's been calling for months, and we've talked, and I'm sure she's talked to the water department and everybody else. There is a huge opportunity over there without question, and then the extension across the road and working back towards the industrial park. I know we looked at it one time last year, and that vote didn't carry. CDBG opportunity if it comes back up, and maybe not if it comes back up, let's go seeking for it, because it's free money. And the force main is almost as expensive as our contribution or our match. So keep that in mind. And I think that was it for today. Thank you.
Commissioner Robinson?
I'm glad to see things are looking up for the recycling, and that our our new, grapple truck is working out really well too. Glad to hear it. Thank you.
Commissioner Pitt?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank our representatives from AARP for helping us out getting our designation here. Another thing that is very important, I want us to all take it serious, is the census, and make sure that we have our teams in place to make sure that we get an accurate count of Jones County, because if we don't, then those are dollars that we'll miss out on. So I want to make sure that we take that serious. Some upcoming events that are going on. Live Healthy Jones is going to be partnering with the Jones County High School and the Certified Nursing Assistance Program, and we're planning on March the 14th, it's a Saturday, is doing a wellness walk right here at the Government Center. We're going to have a nurse practitioner, some of the students going to be taking blood pressures, BMI, flexibility, and the nurse practitioner talking on various topics from blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. And it's for some people that's just afraid to go to the doctor. If you don't have a doctor, it's an opportunity for you to actually meet one. And our goal is to take you throughout the county, so hopefully go to 49 in that part. Just meeting is just for an hour. There's a program called Walk with a Doc. It's like a $2,500 program, but we're not going on that route. It's something free, got volunteers, and hopefully that'll grow and move about in the community. Matt mentioned about the restrooms coming online soon, and we are looking at work with Georgia Power on March the 21st. That's the Saturday about putting the fence up around the inclusive playground. That's something that Mayor Pro Tem James Collins asked us about, so we're moving forward with that. And then Mr. Lynn Duggar brought to my attention about pickleball, and instead of doing it in the gym, we're looking at using the tennis courts. And hopefully the 1st of April, we'll be able to do pickleball, have a little pickleball tournament, something that's going to Macon, Warner Robins, and we're going to bring it here to Jones County. So a lot of good things going on, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Kitchen?
Echo what Commissioner Robinson said about the recycling. Glad to see that, and hopefully we can join up with our cleanup day here in Jones County and have a recycling day. We were trying to do something a little earlier. The weather doesn't want to cooperate with us, so at least by April we ought to be able to have our recycling day and cleanup day together. Also echo what Commissioner Pitt said. Census is important. Be counted. It gets us more money in the long run. Also, be counted in the census and be counted when you vote. So last day to register is February 24th. If you're not registered, we got a lot of recent graduates that are ready to be registered. So I hope everybody will take advantage of that. And last, huge shout out to our Animal Services Department. They had a dinner and a thank you dinner, recognition dinner for all of our volunteers and rescues, and that was awesome. I had the opportunity to attend that with the chairman, and they were very much appreciative, and those folks, they all, I mean, there's no words to describe how much benefit they provide to this county. I can't tell you, how much money they've saved us, and how many animals' lives they've saved us in this county. So they do a huge benefit for this county, and we can't thank them enough. We've got some awesome volunteers.
Well, I've said time and time again to have surrounding counties to ask you how we were so successful with our animal services program, and I said you got to work with your volunteers, and that's been the secret of our success right there. All right. No other comments? We've got an executive session real estate. I need a motion to adjourn to go into executive session.
Chair, make the motion to adjourn to go into executive session to discuss real estate.
All right. Thanks.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
Who seconded that?
Tommy. We had 3 seconds, but everybody came about the same time. I think it was Tommy.
Jonathan, you can have that coordinator position heading up a lot of these programs, the wellness walk and pickleball and all that stuff.